Hey, thank you so much for joining me here in my little corner of the world. Over to you. I appreciate it so much that you are actually watching or listening to me. I am on YouTube as well, so you could actually view this thing. And also Apple Podcasts and Deezer and many other places wherever you get those lovely podcasts. We're here in late March of 2026. Thank you so much for tuning in on this lovely, it's spring. Spring has sprung. Can you believe that? What a nasty winter. Some people just had just a really terrible time over January, February, some record amounts of snow. Now it's crazy spring. Hopefully, no tornadoes for anybody anywhere. Cannot stand that. I cannot stand crazy storm weather. But you know what? We do need the rain here in the Southeast. We have been through droughts here many times. So let's hope that it doesn't get worse. Because when we start fighting for water, things can get pretty interesting around here. But anyway, today I'm speaking with Doug Kistner from the Project Studio Deluxe. They have a great six-song EP, which is rocking and rolling wherever you get those music things, wherever they're at, yeah, on Amazon or TuneIn Radio, maybe perhaps. Also in many other places, Apple Music. Wherever you get that, definitely check them out. It's really fun because it kind of like it's yacht rocky, but which I love. I love the yacht rock stuff. It's just it's like comfort food to me. So great people who work on this project. We talk about that. Chief amongst them is Liberty Devitto. He was the drummer for Mr. Billy Joel for many years and has done many different projects on his own with Slim Kings. And an amazing, passionate drummer. So great that he's involved with this. Doug went out and got him and some members from Chicago, some incredible, incredible gifted musicians on here that we go into, and some who've worked with Bruce Springsteen, who's kicking off a tour here in North America. It's such a wonderful time for Bruce to get out there and to really rock and roll those arenas. Anyway, so Studio Deluxe, great six-song EP set. I always listen on Amazon Music. You could get this anywhere. You could download it anywhere. Good songs here. So anyway, without further ado, here is the conversation with me and Doug Kistner. Enjoy. You've been keeping quite busy these days with a wonderful brand new project. How did all this come together? You got some real serious all-stars here, and chief among them is Liberty Devitto, who I've had on this program as well. So
Oh, you
it's
have? Okay.
yeah, yeah. Lib is wonderful. I met him many years ago because I've been in journalism for many years. Was doing a feature. He was doing a Camp Jam session here in Atlanta, and
Okay.
met him years ago. What a character! He's so passionate.
He is definitely. He's very funny
Yeah.
and he's got a lot of energy. And yeah, he's been on every song that I've been recording for this project. He's actually him and I are the only people that are on every song. So there's a continuity with the drums.
Yeah, yeah. And
Um,
yeah.
yeah.
And as a drummer, and from what I've seen and speaking with him as well, he doesn't just do the drums. He comes into that studio with ideas and that gets implemented. That's always in the final product.
That's right. Yep. He has an idea of like what am I going to bring? What am I going to do for the song? And yep, he has cool stuff to play on all the songs
Yeah,
for sure. For
you could
sure.
just
Yep.
totally hear it. Yeah. And then recruiting everybody else, getting them involved. How did that all come about? Just ask, through managers or just ring them up one day and say, "Hey, can you join me on this project I'm putting together?"
Yeah, it was kind of that simple. It was sort of one by one, with different people. Yeah, I think back in the day, I'd probably need to reach a record company or a manager or something, you know. But today, I think the musicians are a little more accessible, maybe, and they're not recording a lot, and they're not hearing good songs, really. If that makes any sense, or stuff that they can get into, musically, and actually having all these kinds of talents together as far as on the tracks. I mean, we're not recording together,
Yeah,
but
and
yeah, everybody enjoyed, like, was really into putting down something for the song.
yeah, having their little contribution. So recording it together, they were you all in the studio at once, or did they send in their parts
Yeah,
and
we were not together. We were not together generally. Um, but we pulled it together as far as when you're laying your tracks down. You're on the same page, and
yeah,
and playing
yeah.
to the groove. Yeah.
So getting it together, did you have an engineer with you, basically trying to mix all this together? Was it done in the studio or just basically you could do this almost from anywhere now?
Yeah, I mean, I work in the studio with Mark Battaglia. He's my engineer, and and eventually everything comes to him, and we put it to not put it together, but I'll hear everybody's tracks along with him. And actually, we had Ron Nevison mix a couple of songs, who's a major producer. So he mixed a couple of songs for this album, and yeah, and he did a great job on it, naturally.
Yeah, you could feel that in there. Ron Nevison, Grammy Award winner, nominated, and unbelievable. What a history. Zeppelin, The Who.
Yeah, he's
Wow.
yeah, he was I think he was a kind of a young engineer for Zeppelin, and he did Bad Company as a I think he might have produced Bad Company, or was he engineer? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Even the Who, he was doing stuff with the
That's
Who, and then in the '80s he was producing all kinds of bands. Um, yeah,
that's
all
good.
kinds of things.
So it seems like you've been around a while. You have these relationships because not everybody can cobble together these kind of all stars. It's just so you have been at this for a while now.
Yeah, well, this like getting back into songwriting and doing this whole thing just kind of came about in the last couple of years. And I wonder why wasn't I doing this before? I could have been doing this, but
Yeah.
it was just something that sort of happened because I think I was just getting bored with just playing gigs, and I think it was just sort of time to, like, maybe I should write, even though, okay, nobody's going to be, there's no, because I used to submit to record labels, managers, publishers, and all that, years ago.
Yeah.
And then that's all sort of all dried up, and so I was doing more gigs, and everybody was just doing gigs. So this wasn't something that I've been doing. I mean, back years ago, I was doing the songwriting, and didn't get too far with it. Had a couple of artists that were interested, but they never got cut in any major labels. So yeah, I just sort of got back into writing, which is probably what I do best, or just I love doing that. Writing something, coming up with arrangements, coming up with the right parts. I think I'm singing better, and I'm definitely writing better lyrics than I ever did,
Hmm.
just because I'm more, like, focused on it.
Hmm. How long were you
And
gigging? Were you doing that for many
well,
years up
yeah,
until?
I've always been gigging,
Yeah.
So I mean, the past 10 years, I've been playing with Liberty in the Lords of
Awesome.
52nd Street, and
Oh, cool.
some other bands. So you know, I thought of him once I had this idea of, well, what if I got, I wonder if Bill Champlin would sing on something for me. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, he had listened to a couple things and said, "Man, that sounds cool." I was like, "Whoa, okay." So then I started to think maybe I could get some of these guys to play on it, and it might be, and people might want to check it out more. And so
Yeah.
it just kept snowballing from there.
Yeah.
And I got
Yeah.
all kinds of people on here.
Oh
Uh,
yeah. What a great cast of characters.
that's how it happened, sort of.
Yeah, Leland Sklar. I mean, yeah, it's just incredible. These the rosters and then the connection to so much great talent out there. These people have played with Steely Dan, Bruce Springsteen. It just that's a huge list. You're talking about people with connections to huge legends. When you get this EP, you're going to hear a lot of those influences, especially that Chicago influence, which to me, growing up in the 70s and 80s, is just like comfort food. It's like you could really,
Mhm.
taste that in these tracks. And you've definitely captured that, especially with your single Turn the Page.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Yeah, yep. I love the Chicago. Even even though they had different eras, there was still something that tied it together. Well, probably the horns, but still, it was just a lot of melodic stuff and harmonic things going on. Same with Steely Dan.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah,
Steely
that's
Dan. Oh,
just the music is so great. Um, so I just try to do my own my own spin on here's how I would do, maybe a Chicago song or maybe a Steely Dan song or whatever. I didn't they sort of the songs just sort of happened and they're just my influences. So but sometimes you push them in a certain direction and sometimes you push them away from, doing too much of something else. You want to keep it different and fresh and yeah, having everybody play on it live, putting their things on it, just gave it a lot of life, I think.
yeah. Yeah. Some would say that this kind of like has that yacht rock kind of connection too. So I don't know how you would feel about that term. It was an interesting documentary they did on that term, yacht rock, and
Right.
Donald Fagen was not too happy with that kind of description. I don't know how serious he was about that, but
Yeah.
it's kind of
Yeah.
an interesting term. But I love it though. To admit that you love yacht rock, I know it's not the coolest thing in the world, but then again, it is for those of us who
Hey,
enjoy it.
that Yacht Rock Review is they're doing really well and they're a
Yeah,
great band.
yeah,
They're a cover band, but they're really good and they're doing great. I mean, they're selling, they're a pretty big act.
yeah. It really means something because it really is the soundtrack to our lives, as that old term
Yeah.
comes to, always up. But it's really true. I mean, no matter where you went, especially in a certain time, and still do, you hear that out in public all the time, and it really just sticks with you. And there's a comfort in that,
Well,
especially people.
but radio's not, they're not making new music like that.
Yeah,
I mean, I am,
yeah,
but they're not really, on a large scale. They're only playing the old stuff like that. I mean, even these classic rock stations are still playing this. I know some radio, promo people, and they're like, yeah, they're still playing the same the same songs for the last 30 years. So it's there should be some of that influences in new music, but it's they're just playing the old. They're beating it to death, really. But you know,
right. Yeah, that's really, really
yeah,
true.
we're trying to put out some new music with those influences. So
Yeah,
I
and
appreciate that you're interested in it and that you liked it
yeah,
enough to
yeah.
have me on.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's really fascinating is putting out an EP like that, getting it out there. It's on all the music services wherever you get them. So I usually listen on Amazon Music. So, throwing that in the headphones, going out for a run, listening to that, it was basically, to me just very, very comforting and nice to hear these kind of songs. Another one that really stood out to me was Slow Burn. It's got a really nice little gap in it. It's got that soft rock feel to it. Great piano. If you want to give a shout out to whoever has done piano on that track.
Yeah, I play all the keyboards
Really
on all the
nice.
songs. Yeah, thank you.
So you're handling
Yeah,
all
slow burn.
keyboards on the
A
project.
lot of people say that's their favorite, slow burn. You know, so that's great. We're gonna play it live. We have a live show coming up, our first show, and we're gonna do that. We're gonna do the first three songs on the CD, and slow burn is one of them. So that's going to be fun live
Very
for
good.
all of us at Suffolk Theater.
So there, okay, yeah, this is what
Yeah,
early
Long
March.
Island. Yep.
Yeah, yeah, probably get a good turnout there as well. So the Lords of 52nd Street, for those who don't know, is members of the original Billy Joel band, not the very, very original Billy Joel band, but you got Russell Javers, Liberty DeVito, and Richie Cannata. Is he still working? I know he had gone through some health issues more recently, but played saxophone with Billy Joel on some of those classic albums.
Yes, he did. Yeah, he's struggling a little bit still, but he's getting stronger.
Yeah, I
Yep.
just love those clips from that Houston show in 1979 featuring a lot of Richie's work, especially New York State of Mind. He just belts
Mm.
that out there. He's just incredible. And if the Lords come out, usually up in the Northeast, but sometimes you guys are in Florida, but it's mainly
Yeah, we'll be in
Northeast.
Florida next week. Yeah. Yeah, we're doing the whole run of Florida next week.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
is
March 5 through 9, something like that.
yeah, yeah, that's the closest you get to the original is these guys who were there when
Right.
the biggest albums were being recorded. And like I said,
Yeah, they made the
yeah,
music. Yep.
yeah,
Yep, for sure.
yeah, and Liberty's stories are amazing. I read his autobiography and gets into the nitty-gritty about how his ideas really made it onto the Stranger album in 1977.
Mm.
And just, to see a guy like that, he's not just like the guy in the back. It's like, yeah, this was the architect of some of the biggest songs of our lives. And to have him working with you has got to be something so special. And we hear it in this new EP. So, where does the name come from? Studio Deluxe. Is that the name of the actual studio that's you're working in?
No, it's I just needed a name to represent that this was a like a project of like a studio project.
Yeah, yeah, not just
So
under your name or anything like that.
yeah, no, it wasn't about me being a solo artist. It was
Yeah.
kind of about um a project of artists, a recording project. So yeah, we were, a studio project. So that name just sort of, stuck with me. And the logo is pretty cool. And yep, and that's so it's a project name, but it's a band name now if we're playing live, which I didn't really anticipate that in the beginning. But people were asking like, well, why don't you guys play live? It's like, well, I got people all over the I got
Yeah.
all these, everybody's scheduled, people live all over the place. And so that was tricky, but we're gonna play live with Liberty and Keith Howland, who was with Chicago for 20 something years. He's on the record, so he's with us. And yeah, Studio Deluxe is the band name.
Awesome. Yeah, it would be nice if I can get like a whole group picture of you, but you're all over the place, like you say.
Yeah,
How are you rehearsing? Were you doing this over Zoom, or you're basically going to get to the gig and do a very long sound check?
that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's listening. Everybody kind of knows what they're gonna do. We're gonna do Chicago and Steely Dan covers,
Cool.
and we're gonna do a bunch of these songs. So yeah, I think yep, we're gonna do a very long sound check
Yeah, exactly.
and pull it together. Yep,
You have to. Yeah,
may not be
definitely.
perfect. May not be perfect.
Yeah. Well, and you're probably more critical on stage than the audience probably wouldn't even, recognize any, nuances or any little things that
Yeah,
you're
yeah. I
doing.
mean, I think it'll be fun and it'll be exciting too. And um, yeah, I think it's gonna be great. Everybody's gonna play their butts off. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think we're gonna gel.
Yeah. I've had Lawrence Gowan on this show as well a couple of times from Styx, and you got Glenn Burtnick from Styx, and
Right.
getting so Yeah, Styx is just one of those monumental bands too that just keeps on churning out. I know they obviously went through reinvention, and of course, what band or act hasn't had like legal issues or infighting? It's like it's the typical rock and roll American story. You hear it all the time, so it's just kind of interesting to see Glenn in the roster as well, and Keith Howland from Chicago as well,
Mm.
and Elliot Randall from Steely Dan. Steely Dan is another interesting act, and to see how what unbelievable perfectionists they were for so many years, and just put out just amazing high quality music.
Oh yeah, they're the cream of the crop for sure. Um, yeah, John Harrington was with Steely for I think from well, I'm not sure when he started, but he was with them for 20 years also. Not on those old records, but John's on a bunch of songs. If you saw Steely Dan in the last 20 years, you saw John
He was up
Harrington
there.
on guitar. Yeah, and of course Elliot Randall played Reelin' in the Years
Ah,
and some
yeah,
other stuff on Royal Scam too. But yeah, he was up for doing the session. He liked the song and he was up for doing a session. So I was very surprised to get him. But he lives in London too.
oh my gosh.
So yeah.
Yeah, a true global project as well. It's just
Hmm.
really, yeah, fascinating with our technology these days. If you remember back in the old days, it was just reel-to-reel tape and just that analog warm soundboard. It was huge, tons of tracks on it. But great to see that you're even including some Doobie Brothers into your act that you'll be playing.
You mean for the live show?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah, Doobies are right. Are one of my favorite groups, and yeah, that's fun stuff to play live.
Yeah. And as part of the six-song EP that's out there, another great track standout called "Nothing." I like that little,
Hmm.
that little wah wah at the top there. It just brings me back to a lot of tracks of my childhood.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
All right. Yeah, that keyboard has it's kind of a dirty electric piano with a wah effect on it. Yeah, which gives it like a little bit of eerie. Well, I don't know if eerie is the right word, but it has a certain
yeah,
atmosphere to it, and the
right.
lyrics are dark. The lyrics are on the dark side, loneliness and that kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So
And those lyrics
yeah.
come to you. How do these lyrics come to you? That when you're sitting there and you're writing, is it just on spontaneously, or are you coming up with that as you're recording?
Oh, definitely not as I'm recording. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean finishing them is like just takes work, the time to like for me to just finish it. But when you get a certain hook or a certain thing that sticks, as you're kind of coming up with the melodies, as you're right, you know, um, that's when okay, this I've got something, and then you just need to really, flesh it out or finish your thoughts or, finish the verses or just maybe redefine or clarify like what the song is about.
Yeah,
So yeah, the
and
lyrics take the longest time. And
that's
if you rush
pretty.
them, you just end up with you can't really rush them.
Yeah.
I mean, if I had to come up with a whole bunch of songs now for an album, and if you rush the lyrics, you know, it'll sound that way, I think.
Yeah, yeah, and some projects do when you look at some people's catalogs, but yeah, and nothing. Those are pretty heavy lyrics. How do you move on when that's just yeah, when the love is gone, how do you move on? It's really it must be a very lonely place.
Well, I appreciate that you checked them out in that
Yeah.
way. Um, yeah, that was just like like a dark song, like when you come home to nothing, or you're waiting to hear, you know, from somebody or about something, and you get nothing,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
or it's, you're just home. Sometimes you wake up in the middle of the night and it's just dark and, you know, so yeah, it was kind of a pretty honest, like, um, lyric on when you might feel that way,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is hopefully not too often.
Yeah, exactly. But we all get there at some point. Again, it's,
Yeah,
something
yeah.
else. It's very relatable. I mean, who hasn't been in that kind of a situation? Uh, you also have female backing artists on this six-song EP. Not in a million years.
Yeah, Reagan Richards. Reagan
Yeah.
Richards. Oh yeah, she's great. She's a great performer. I met her through Summer of Love, which is Glenn Burtnick's project, which is the '60s, late '60s
Hmm.
thing. So yeah, I thought of her, um, and yeah, that she adds a nice sound to the track for sure, with a different voice and high harmonies in there. It sounds great.
Yeah, good horn section there as well that's featured.
Mm.
Definitely you can feel it in that. And I like the nice falsetto getting into that track.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I can sing falsetto, but it's thin. So if you, I think we tripled it.
Hmm.
Sounds sounds pretty good.
Yeah, yeah, definitely good sonic experience. I definitely recommend that as well. As far as recording history goes, have you recorded as a solo artist? Do you have a lot of stuff out there that people could find?
No, I mean, this album is really,
That's
I
really
have a
it.
few songs. I have a few songs I put out there solo, in the modern age of Spotify and all that,
Mhm. Yeah, as singles.
Yeah.
That's we've kind of come around back to like when in the 50s it was just the big singles,
Yeah.
Nobody really thought of concept albums.
Right. Right. I mean, I'm just trying to get, well, anybody is trying to just get people to like love one song. You
Yeah.
know, the like if you put the whole, if I waited and I just waited till I had 10 songs done and then put them out, then you put them out, you only hope people are going to hear or love one or two songs. They're never going to, listen to all of them. I don't think they have the time. I mean, I appreciate that you listen to the whole thing. I mean, now a lot of the people that have been following this project, they'll know some of these songs,
Yeah.
but it was nice. It was good timing to put an album out, after putting out some singles.
Yeah, there's something really connective about the whole album experience that I kind of do
Yeah,
miss that. I mean, artists are still doing it, but not as much as they did, like
right.
say back in 60s, 70s, 80s, going into the 90s. It's just, obviously this is the internet and the age of streaming, and that totally changed the game, which is a bit sad
Yeah,
because as we always say, there's just something so magical and special when you get that vinyl and you get
the
the lyric
album.
sheet. Yeah.
Yeah, and have the whole thing with having the album and people's attention span. It seems for music is just really short. They don't want to, but people will stream, like watch movies and these things like all day long. And I had to create 30-second clips of the songs so people will like maybe listen, maybe they'll like it and they'll like actually listen to the whole thing. So let alone a whole album, it's like I got to make something in 10 or 30 seconds to,
Yeah.
yeah, to get people to check it out.
Yeah, it's a lot harder these days, although there is a little vinyl movement, but it's expensive now. I mean, gosh, just a regular 10-track vinyl album can be upwards 25, $30 or more,
Right.
which real audiophiles, that's not most of us really get
Right.
into that.
Right.
But
Right.
yeah,
No, I didn't make any of those. I did
yeah.
make some CDs, which is, it's okay. It's very inexpensive to make the CDs, and some people want them, and it's kind of cool. it's cool to have them, and they're so it's available in CD. Um,
Yeah.
but most people will stream on whatever they like. Most
Yeah.
people like.
You know, I've lost count. I think you have 8 tracks on this
Yeah,
album. So
8.
I know I was thinking six. I must have been thinking of something else, but
That's all right.
it's 8 tracks altogether. And you have a great closeout track, Still Shines About. It's like that does feel like that is your great grand. It's always nice to have that great grand closing track to a project.
That's a cool ending, and
Yeah.
Bill Champlin sings his ass off at the end,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so does Liberty plays his ass off at the end too. So yeah, the two of them are uh, it's just really smoking.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought it was a good track to end with.
Yeah,
Just
definitely.
especially because of that ending section. It's like not my best song, but the way that thing goes out is really cool. So I like it.
Yeah, great arrangement. Was it tough to really sit down and figure out the order? A lot of people, musicians will, producers, engineers sit down and they just kind of
Yeah,
like obsess over the order.
you're right. No, that was so fun. I did it so quickly. I knew right away. Um, I kind of knew where they were going to go.
Yeah, and
Yeah, I kind of knew. Yeah.
a lot of albums have, a gap, a little moments of silence between songs. I noticed you go from old school right into the closing track. It's
Oh, well, with the digital, I mean, with the digital, maybe there's a way to do it, but I really didn't have control of that. And I didn't
yeah,
realize that until after we submitted the album. I realized, well, I haven't even, like, I didn't really know how to do that.
yeah,
And the engineer really didn't either. Like, how do we do the spacing? And, just the digital distribution just did it by itself.
that's
And
interesting.
it didn't ask us about, how do you want to space? It just took the tracks in the order. And so I didn't like that, but that's
Yeah, that's
something I learned. But yeah, I mean, on the CD, well, I mean, I just let the record company that manufactures CD handle that, but I should have paid attention to that too with them.
Yeah, that's it's interesting because it reminds me of "On Goodbye Yellow Brick Road" by Elton John. There's like
Hmm.
certain songs just have that almost like no space between them. It's like, is this very deliberate? It's kind of interesting. It's cool actually, but like, did they really want to do that? So that's interesting to hear that. Like, well, these days, yeah, you go to distribute something, even if you've listened to this a zillion times it gets distributed and like something like that happens. It's really good. It's not a bad mistake. It really isn't, but it's just kind of interesting to hear that these songs go right into each other. Of course, it's a digital format and it's
Yeah,
fine,
yeah. I
really.
was like I said, I was not. I didn't realize it till after we submitted the album
Yeah.
that I had no control over that.
Yeah. Very heavy vocal on Old School. I really could feel it on that one too. Who's, the very, very strong, centered, heavy vocal. Great song.
Oh, cool, cool. Yeah, Glenn Burtnick did some. That's the song that he sang some backgrounds and on that one along with me.
Very cool. Very cool. So it's gonna be interesting. Yeah. So this is your first gig. Are you gonna do many more after this since it's just basically you're all over the place? More shows together coming up in the future or
Yeah, we
everybody?
hope so. I mean, we just have this one to start, and I hope it will springboard us into playing some other venues. But we got a really nice debut venue, so so it's a good place to start, and I hope we can add shows, for the spring, summer.
Good, good.
Yeah, thank you.
The Suffolk is, yeah, that's a good venue. Riverhead, New York is
Correct.
the exact location. Very good. And yeah, hope to see you guys keep getting out there. So you've definitely been rocking and rolling. It's a great little project there, and good people on there. Wow, and the connections to some of these huge names. I'm just, it's incredibly impressed and always giving my best to Liberty Devitto, who is just constantly still working and involved in so many different projects. And if you anybody who can go out there and see the Lords of 52nd Street, definitely do so. It's a real treat, definitely to hear those classics live.
Hey, thanks, Bob. Thanks for having me on, and thanks for
Absolutely.
listening to all the tunes. And I'm
Yeah,
glad you dig it. Thank you.
absolutely. Have a good one and best wishes as we go through 2026 here.
Same to you.
Take care. Have a good one.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for sitting through this with me. Had a great time. He's just a really, really awesome guy, and I really enjoyed that. So keep on listening. I'm going to keep getting some more talented musicians on here, as well as leaders, artists of all stripes. So I appreciate you getting this far and listening to my lovely little podcast, Tales from the Corners TFTC with Bob Nebel, wherever you get those podcasts. Until next time, stay safe, stay warm. Well, actually, probably cool because now we're in the spring of 2026. So have a good one. Take care. Bye.